Hey, fifth graders, welcome to a new day of class. It's Monday, February 17th, and here is our grammar lesson for the week. So you can see the questions there. Once again, you don't have to turn this in, but you are going to complete it. You can write it in your notebook, and then we'll go over the answers very shortly. So at this point, why don't you hit pause? I'll wait a few seconds for you to write down the answers, and then we'll continue with the completed questions. So press pause now. All right, welcome back, guys. Number one, it says, "Is this what you was looking for?" asked the librarian. Oh, a bunch of things wrong with this particular one. We can see that the librarian is asking something, so we know it's dialogue. It's going to need quotation marks. Plus, the first word in the sentence is not capitalized. So before we even capitalize that, we have to put it in quotation marks. So is, whoops, see I said quotation marks and I lied. Okay, here we go. Is this what you, okay, now this was is this the proper tense? Is this what you was looking for? So was is past tense, but it's not the correct past tense verb we're looking for. We're looking for were. Is this what you were looking for? All right. Now, this is a question, so we need to do a question mark and then quotations. Now, we might have had some lessons before where we have to offset what someone says with a comma. But when we use a question or an exclamation mark, we don't need to use a comma in this. So we just say, asked the librarian, period. Oop, I spelled librarian wrong. And with a simple right click, we fix it. So this is important right here. It's a question mark, or if it's an exclamation mark, you do not put a comma in it to offset it or to say this is what the librarian said. So let's keep that in mind. I'm sure in the next week or two we'll see examples of that. And you may be writing some today as well. So keep that all in mind. Number two, we throwed her in a surprise birthday party last Saturday. Oh man, this is chock full of bad verb tenses here. But once again, we start a sentence off with capital letter, or with the first word getting capitalized. So we throwed is actually not a word. The past tense for throw is actually throw. So threw her. Now we have an here, and if you remember, we used an last week when the next word starts with a vowel sound. Not necessarily a vowel, but a vowel sound. Surprise does not start with a vowel sound. So this has to be a surprise birthday party last, and Saturday is the proper noun, so we have to capitalize it. We threw her a surprise birthday party. I spelled birthday wrong. Man, I'm a bad typer. Birthday party last Saturday. And that ends a sentence with a period. So we need to keep that in mind. All right. Number three, what is the correct abbreviation for junior? So junior, there's the 11th grade year in high school and college would be your junior year. But typically, if someone has the same name as their father, that's usually middle name, first name, middle name, last name, they are called junior. And the proper way to abbreviate junior is as JR period. So it's a capital J, small r, period. The period's important. We can see that this one doesn't have the period, so we don't use that. All right, number four. Last week we talked a little bit about the closing to a letter. And today we're going to look at a business letter, but how do you open a business letter? So when it says find the salutation for a business letter, the word salutation means greeting. So you can even say salutations, and that means greetings. People usually don't talk like that nowadays, but it's still what you call, like in an email, when you say dear so and so, you need to, that's your salutation. But the key here is this is a business letter. So in a business letter, you're writing some company or boss. It's a very formal letter. So you're not going to say dear Bill, because you're going to be respectful and call the person by their proper name. Over here, dear Mrs. Lee, that still is not, it's not proper. But dear Mr. Hermans, we have the colon here. This would be a good example of a salutation for a business letter. If you don't know who you're writing, sometimes you have to write a company and you don't know who you're writing, you would say to whom it may concern. But in this case, we know we're writing apparently Mr. Hermans, and that is the proper way to do it. Number 5. What is the meaning of this figure of speech? Everyone who sees Mrs. Winslow's garden says she has a green thumb. So a green thumb would also fall in the category of being an idiom. So we know Mrs. Winslow has a garden. And by saying she has a green thumb, what we're really saying is that Mrs. Winslow is good at growing plants. So if you say you have a green thumb, that means you're really good at having a garden or growing plants. If you say you don't have a green thumb, that usually means you kill all the plants you try to grow. All right, that ends our little grammar lesson for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. If I can turn this off.